Anthony Joshua and Usyk, and he as a character, I just find him fascinating and brilliantly weird. But as a fight and as a matchup, it's going to be at Spurs' new stadium, like you say, with fans as well. How big is this going to be?
Do you know, it's really come up on the blind side, this fight, in terms of size, because everyone was talking about Fury against Joshua, rightly so. And, you know, when that fell apart, there was kind of this lull and this disappointment, and Fury's fighting Wilder. And then we announced Joshua Usyk, and the response has been unbelievable. Like, I think outside of AJ Fury, this is the best fight in the division that could have been made, because, again, you look at the narrative, you look at the characters. You've got the unified heavyweight world champion in Anthony Joshua. You've got the undisputed cruiserweight world champion in Usyk, who is quite strange, you know, quite eerie, quite, so, you know, he's sort of, you can see even on social media, he's always up to something. And this is a tough fight for AJ. You know, people are talking about the undisputed, but once again, I'll give props to Anthony Joshua, because when you look at his resume, you know, from fighting Dillian Whyte to Charles Martin to Vladimir Klitschko, to Joseph Parker, to Alexander Povetkin, to Kubrat Pulev, to Andy Ruiz twice, now to Usyk. This is a hell of a run in terms of heavyweight resumes, and can't wait to do it at Spurs. You know, 65,000. We're actually supposed to do the AJ Pulev fight at Spurs before COVID, but it's a fantastic stadium. We'll announce today details of the tickets for that. But
so 65,000 then?
Yeah. So it's going to be great. And it's a brilliant fight. You know, it's a really, really good heavyweight
the training
fight.
going well for AJ?
Yeah, it was after the disappointment of the Fury fight. He's smart now. You know, I think when you look back over the career, we all probably made a little bit of mistake for the Andy Ruiz fight, where you know, Jarrell Miller failed a drugs test. We had 3.5 weeks to go. We went with Andy Ruiz. We all believed that AJ was invincible. His training team liked the Andy Ruiz fight. But it's very difficult to change styles, change sparring and get the mindset right with such a short period of time. So here, AJ said, you know what I need to do? I just need to take a couple of weeks just to get over the disappointment of not fighting Fury. I've spent the last 8 months in my head preparing for this guy. Now I'm fighting a southpaw, you know, a completely different style. I've got to bring in new sparring partners, and that's all been done perfectly. So he's excited because he's a student of the game, and he wants to prove to people that he can beat the likes of Alexander Usyk. He can outskill him. That's difficult. I don't want to see him actually overcomplicate this fight. I want to see him go in and destroy the guy. You know, if you look what Chisora did against Usyk, he got a lot of things right. Wasn't quite fast enough, wasn't quite sharp enough, didn't quite punch as hard. But the plan was good. Now, this guy is not a massive heavyweight, but he moves well. You take his feet away, and AJ, you go in there and you be devastating. Don't think that you want to out-chest this guy. Because he's Gary Kasparov in that respect. So I think it's going to be a fascinating fight, and AJ's got to use his size, impose his size, but Usyk's a maverick. You know, he unified the cruiserweight division, I think 16 fights. One of the greatest amateurs of all time, former Olympic gold medalist. You know, you've got 2 London Olympic gold medalists there as well. So it's a tough one.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.